Hello, vocalists. This is voice and audition coach Jessica Neighbor, and I want to talk to you about how to make and keep your vocal practice fun. This is really crucial for your development because a lot of times when I'm working with singers, including myself, there's a little bit of this burden where your vocal practice, especially at home when you're not with anyone else, starts to feel like yet another chore, another piece of homework, another burden that you get to layer on top of all the other things you have to do. But remember, just like an athlete needs to constantly train, if you really want to be a pro vocalist, you need to be conditioning your voice constantly. So here are some creative ways to keep practice fun so that you'll keep doing it. One is to make sure that you have a special place that you've carved out that is your singing place. If I don't have my singing set up, how am I going to go sing easily? I'd have to set it all up to make that happen. The more you have things out in the open, the more motivated you are going to go and do that thing. So I have a beautiful music studio and I'm really fortunate for that because I can just step into here, but there's lots of other options. When I was starting out, I had a keyboard in my bedroom and it was in one section of my room. I had my sheet music and my lyrics on top of that keyboard. I had my little radio. Back in the day, we had cassettes and CDs, and I had my whole little setup there so that whenever I went to work on my songs, it was all good to go. So if it's a corner of your room, if you want to invest in renting a studio, there's also drop-in studios at a lot of music schools where you can go there. You can, for like 20 bucks, maybe even less than that for an hour, get in there and just sing your heart out with the piano. So there's lots and lots of options. So finding that space for you is really key. The other step for your home practice is finding the time that you can consistently do your work. So some people are morning people. I don't know how you guys do that. I'm totally a night owl, the opposite. But if you're a morning person, wake up, get yourself started, do some stretches, and after you've warmed up your voice a little bit, start doing a little bit of vocalizing. Our voices are a little tired in the morning. We usually need to kind of stretch them out a little bit before we really start singing. But if that's your time of day that you know you're going to get your work done, do it in the morning. Or if you're like me and you're a night owl, you're going to really feel the spirit of music hit you at night, and that's when you're going to be motivated to sing. But the key is making it a consistent time so that it just becomes part of your habit that you do. If you really want to be a pro vocalist, you should be training your voice about 5 times a week. I think we're all human. Give yourself a day or 2 off. But if you're striving for 5, then you're going to really keep a great consistent workout with your voice, and you're going to notice good vocal progress. The other piece I want to talk to you about for keeping practice fun is what you're doing while you practice. So we know that there's 2 main parts of your vocal home practice. One is doing your vocal warm-up exercises, and 2 is doing your songs, whatever songs you're working on at that moment. So the first one, the vocal exercises. I know a lot of singers who feel very differently about this. Some people are totally into their vocal scales. Some people can't stand them. And what I always remind my singers is it's kind of like your vegetables. You gotta eat them. Try to learn to love them. And the key about that too is find those exercises that resonate with you, that you enjoy. It's really good to work with a coach, a professional who's setting you up with a good exercise routine. The routine I've created is covering all of your basics, your low voice, your high voice, your 2 main registers, your bridge register, your mid voice, slow and fast exercises, agility exercises, a little bit of ear training. So you're covering a full scope of exercises, but it doesn't need to be laborious. I know when I also was starting out that I felt like I had to really go in there and like sing for like an hour and a half. No, make your practice manageable. Do your vocal warm-ups for like 5 or 10 minutes and then sing for 20 and you're good to go. If that's too much, do your warm-ups for 5 and sing for 10, and you're good to go. You're going to slowly find that the more you're consistently doing this singing practice at home, you're going to find joy in it, and you're going to find more and more reasons to keep practicing and to stay with it. But don't make it this laborious task that for the most of us is just going to put us off and make us not want to do it. So pick a few scales that are covering the basics, and go from there. Oh, I just lost my film here. And then work songs. So you're probably working on a few different songs, either your own compositions or songs that you really love that you're covering. I definitely work with pop singers who are doing pop, R&B, soul, and musical theater. And remember with your work songs that you want to also be conditioning your voice. So you want to have a few dynamic songs that you're working on at one time. You want a high song and a low song and a fast song and a slow song, and ideally some songs in different genres of music. You're developing your own voice and your own style, but you should also be challenging yourself and getting a little out of your comfort zone. So I think having either the sheet music ready or your list of songs, have those YouTube vocals queued up, whatever it is that you're working with, have all of that queued up and good to go so that when you segue from your vocal exercises into your work songs, that's also just easy. You're flowing through your whole home practice. We don't want at any point something to stop you and deter you from going on to the next step. A lot of my singers put all the vocal warm-ups that I record with them onto a phone. They make their playlist and their vocal exercises just flow from one to the next. And then they make their work song playlist to remind them of what it is they're working on. And when we start our practice together, they write down their major song list, and we go in and change it and edit it as time goes on. But so that if you're ever drawing a blank, you go back to square one and see what it is that inspires you. And so if you've got your flow, you should be, just doing this. And so then it becomes routine. Then it becomes something that you love. And we know that with regular practice and just showing up to do the work, you are then going to give yourself the space, the time to actually discover and develop your voice. So I hope these tips help you in your home practice, making it fun, keeping it fresh, and just have constant check-ins with yourself about who this practice is for. Because really at the end of the day, this practice is for you. This is a gift that you're giving yourself to develop your voice for those performances that you want to go out there and just kill it on. So remember, you do have to put in your time, but make that time fun, make that time special. Create a really wonderful place for yourself in your room that inspires you so that you're out there singing your heart out. All right, singers, thanks. I'm going to sign off. That is my advice to you. If you also want to check out my other YouTube vocal exercises, you can use a few of those as your go-to vocal warm-ups.